Hello there, it's the Honest Faker here again, Emily Payne, giving you the lowdown on sex work. Please, if you're liking these videos and you like a fluffy pink jumper, please subscribe, share, etc. Okay, I haven't got many subscribers, so please can you subscribe? Thank you very much and good night. Now, today's video is regarding jobs. Normal jobs v sex work, right? V sex work. Now, if you've watched some of these videos, I quite often bitch about sex work. That is kind of the gist of this channel. And there's a lot to bitch about. So you might be thinking, and I have touched upon this in other videos, but you might be thinking, well, why don't you just go and get a normal job, Emily? Right, apart from the fact that I've had possibly 70 or 80 jobs. I really don't know. If I had to write a list of all my jobs, I couldn't. I haven't got a single clue. Now, some of these jobs have lasted an hour, half an hour, a day, 2 days, a week, but some have lasted a month, 3 months, 6 months. I stayed at one place for 18 months. So there. And I do have another job. I have another job currently, which I've also touched upon. I'm a singer. I'm a singer in the pubs and clubs of the northeast of England, which is also terrible. I should try to start a new channel about that, actually. It's terrible because of the audiences and the venues. I'm wonderful. Move over, Whitney Houston. Anyway. That is another thing, right? That's for another day and another jumper. Now, I've had a lot of jobs, and why I keep coming back to sex work is the freedom of it. Now, it's yes, it's self-employed, but so there's freedom in self-employment, but not really. Sex work is the ultimate freedom, right? I've sometimes had 6 months off sex work, a year off sex work, gone and done other things, probably taken 7 or 8 jobs, and you come back to it, you put your profile back up online, boom, you're busy again. Now, there's not many self-employed businesses where you could do that. You couldn't just walk away from your business for a year and then come back and expect it to work as it was. No, you can with sex work. You just stop it. You take your profile down. The minute you put your profile back, oh, boom, you use as much work as you want again. Now, that is addictive. You can come and go from it. It's good money. It's money that actually makes a difference, other than this minimum wage palaver. Now, I know there are people out there who've got decent jobs, who've studied to do their job, they care about them, they're more vocational, and they're decent jobs. But a hell of a lot of people just have jobs that basically anybody could do. I think people like to think that their job is special, or the other people couldn't really do their job and all that. Yeah, they can. Minimum wage jobs and all that, and that kind of level. But I would posit. And I do want to bring the word posit back into regular use, because it's a good word. But I would posit that for me, all jobs are complete shit, right? And I get it. There's people who have good jobs, but I know that. Blah, 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 blah. Now, I've had a lot of jobs. Boy, have I had a lot of jobs. I can't even remember. In the 90s, I left school in 1991, and my life at the time was shite. It was effed up, and I'm not going to go into details. I don't like thinking about that time, but I suppose it's like a formative time when you could go one way or the other. Well, I went sort of that way, and I just left. I left school. I went to college randomly for a couple of months. Can't even remember what I studied. Left college, nobody cared. Went and got a job in a supermarket where I was so fat that didn't have a uniform to fit us. I worked there a year and they never got the uniform to fit us. I just had to have it was like a dress with poppers up the front, and I just had to wear a t-shirt under because I was massive. It was like 5 sizes too small. And I was so, at the time, when you're that age, like 16, 17, you don't say boo to a goose, do you? Well, I wouldn't have. I was, but I hate thinking about that time. I'm not even going to, let's move on, right? So then I moved out of the house at the family house at about 18, something like that. And I just had to keep a roof over my head. Now, once you're in that situation, You haven't really got the luxury of, oh, shall I take a year out? Oh, shall I study? Shall I take a couple of years out and study? No, because who's going to pay your rent and feed you? Right? So I've always been single. I've got no kids. So obviously that colours the situation. Remember that. That colours the situation a lot. So I've only got myself to think about. Okay. So now I love times a million just walking out of a job. Just walking out. Once I get to that point, whether it be a day, a week, a month, 2 months, that's it. I made the decision. Something, I've snapped. I'm leaving this job. Too many stupid, pointless rules that just take away your freedom. You're standing there. You're looking at the clock all the time. You don't want to be there. Nobody wants to be in that job. Yet we're all sat. Well, I'm not. Yous are. Sitting in rush hour, staring up the arse end of a Ford Focus, as if this is living. This is freedom. I've got a car I can't afford, and I'm working in a job where it'll take us 17 years to pay off this car. Woo! The people you work with, the people I work with in jobs are plebs. That the type of jobs that I've done historically, not every single job. There's been better jobs than others, but they're at their level. That's what they're in that job because that's all they can do. All this kind of, everybody can do something better and everybody's got ambition and everybody's a secret genius. No, they're not. A lot of people are in jobs, that's all they can do. They couldn't do anything better if they tried. And so you're stuck with them. That's who you're stuck with. And that's who I'm stuck with in these jobs. So I'm ready to kill somebody. I'm always in situations where I am totally different to everybody else. I've got nothing in common. Every situation I'm in, I'm never in situations where I think that, this is, I see other people like me. I feel comfortable here. I see, you know what I mean? And that goes for all jobs. I'm a lone wolf. I'm a weirdo. Now, I'm a weird wolf. And anyway, so walking out of jobs, and if there's a badge, a name badge, don't get me started on name badges, lanyards, ill-fitting uniforms, nylon-y, ill-fitting A-line uniforms or awful trousers that give you a camel toe, ill-fitting, unstylish, embarrassing. It's so embarrassing to have to wear a uniform for your job. I just find it cringy. I think this what am I wearing the outfit for that represents some boring shitty business that isn't even mine? It's cringy. I wouldn't wear this if I was paid £4 billion. Well, it's cringy. And I've worn many a cringy uniform. Even if they're all right uniforms, they're still cringy. So and walking out of a job, I advise you to do it. If you're on the brink, do it. Now, I take no responsibility for what happens to you after that. Now, I used to go from job to job to job in the 90s, the 2000s. The last job I took, was last year sometime. And it was just a self-employed thing. I'm a good artist. And it was doing like those watercolour, like, the people come, they get pissed and they paint something. Like, an evening thing. Like a painting party thing. You know what I mean? But that was crap as well. So I just walked out of that. And I think the one before that was sometime, I don't know. There could have been ones. The next one I'm thinking is sometime when I lost it in lockdown because the company went under and all that. And that was, I've done quite a lot of retail merchandising. But I've done everything. I haven't got like a job. I stick to a narrow band of jobs. Honestly, the 90s, the 2000s, I was driving vans all around the country. I was digging ditches. You name it, I've done it. Because the rent has to be paid. And there's no two ways about that. So sex work, you see, the thing is, once you've got, you can do sex work. And yes, obviously there's massive downsides to sex work, right? When you're standing in a 9-to-5 job somewhere, office, shop, whatever, you don't generally have to clean somebody's arse crack out with a baby wipe so you can rim them. It's generally not part of the job requirement. And if it's expected of you, I would say you need to have a word with HR. Now, don't do it. But you know, so obviously there's upsides and downsides to everything. But there's jobs. I don't know how they persist. I don't know how they still exist. They're a terrible idea. Working for somebody else, just making them rich, wearing a lanyard in the process, and some ill-fitting trousers that are really designed for men, but have just been sort of butchered to, you know what I mean? Like those horrible men's trousers, but they're so unstylish. That was one job I'm thinking of particularly, where I had some quite sort of hideous trousers to wear. I was scarred by that, even though it was 25 years ago. Anyway, right. When I'm sitting in a job, a 9-to-5 job, I'm totting up how much I've earned. Right. I've been working 4 hours. What have I cleared? Probably not even 40 quid after tax and all the rest of all that. Well, how many clients could I have seen in that 4 hours? I could have been at the gym. I could have been pottering around doing what the hell I wanted. I could have been watching a film that I'd recorded the night before. I could have seen a couple of clients. I could have made £200, £300, £400, whatever. In the time that I've had to stand there smiling at the British public. Now, if you want to get treated like shit, you all know this. Work with the British public. Work in a call centre. Work in anything customer service. And God knows I've done it. Right, I used to go from call centre to call centre to call centre, because they had them all in the northeast, didn't they, in like the 90s, when the call centres were all the thing, because of our lovely Geordie accent. Right, I've been talked to and treated more like shite in jobs, 9-to-5 jobs, than I ever have in sex work. What I get in sex work, there's not a day goes by when I don't get told I'm beautiful, I'm sexy. Oh, I'm looking at your pictures here online on your profile. You're gorgeous. You're my type. You're beautiful. Meet them. I go to the job and meet them. Oh, your pictures don't do you justice. Oh my God. All that crap. Yeah, it's crap and yeah, but it's better than standing in some shop somewhere or a call centre where people are treating you like caca. And you know that's true. And I'm getting £170 an hour. And being told that I'm gorgeous. So yes, obviously I have to then have sex with that person. Boo. But you've got to do something for a living, haven't you? There's always nothing's perfect. There's always a downside to everything. So I'm afraid jobs just they take away our freedom. Summing up, jobs are shit. Right? They're pointless. You're just making somebody else rich. You've got no freedom. They take up all day. They take all of your day. You go out when it's dark. You come back when it's dark. What have you done? Stood in a job with a horrible nylon waistcoat on, or a lanyard, or heaven forbid something where you've got to wear a hat. Oh, I took a job for Domino's in the lockdown. Hat. My head is massive, and you've got to wear the hat. I'm sorry, but at the time I was 45 or something. I was a pissed off 45-year-old. Baseball cap. The amount of times I spent running down the street after that baseball cap. I hate to think I spent more time doing that than shoving pizza in people's faces. For no thanks. Get the door closed in your face. That's what that was. I spent more time getting the door closed in my face as if I was invisible. And running after a hat. Than anything else. Right? The wear and tear on my car was astronomical as well. So I just went back to sex work. No wear and tear on your car there. And you get home for whatever time you want. You set the rules. You work, you don't work, you whatever. You suck 10 cocks in a day, you suck none. That's up to you. And the money makes a difference. The money is freedom, my friend. Money is freedom and money is power. And money gives you time to stop and think. And it gives you freedom. Money gives you freedom. We all know this, right? Minimum wage does not give you freedom. Right, so I've had me rant about that. I've been sacked a few times as well, which I quite look forward to getting sacked, because they're doing the job for you. Then you don't have to walk out. They're doing it for you. It's done. Takes that decision out of your hands. You know what I mean? Because I probably would have walked out anyway after a couple of days, but they've sacked you, so that's done. So that's why I keep coming back to sex work. It's the freedom and the lack of lanyards. All right. Now I'll leave you with that. Goodbye.